instead of laboring over the track and really doing too much more to it, if I'm in a session and I'm creating on the spot with the artist, I'm going to say, hey, this is enough of an idea to get a little something to, and you can, have the artist go in and maybe do some scratch vocals, or the writer, sing some melodies. They don't even need lyrics, and just hum some melodies over it and see if there's some potential there. Before you waste too much time with the artist in the studio, you know, perfecting this thing, I think, you need to just see if the initial idea has something to it.
Little trick, I bring the output level down by 0.06 dB. So it's not bang on zero, it's just back a little bit. And the reason I do that is because if you're bouncing a WAV down, which is a high quality file, and then you convert that WAV to an MP3 or an AAC file, and I always like doing an AAC because it sounds loads better than MP3, to give to someone because they don't want to download a WAV, it's too big. Then by doing this, it stops any distortion. Sometimes when you convert files from WAV to MP3, and then they're right up against the end stops, the conversion process doesn't like it, and it produces artifacts and goes a bit weird. This kind of safety net for that.
So as you add your layers, there'll be these different elements that when you mix them all together, the goal is to have most people's ears not hear those layers. That's the trick, is to add the layers and make the soup where when they taste it, they just taste a great soup and they're not tasting, oh, I can sense the cumin and there's the salt and there's the pepper. It should just be a brilliant symphony. And that's one of the tricks I think I try to do with the MP, with the layers. And yeah, so those are some of the tricks as far as what you can do here. Like I said, if I'm gonna chop a sample, and it's like maybe it's just a basic sample, I'll make all the pads cut off each other.
Again, delay, which gives the 16th note pattern. I like to do this for 16th notes very often because it just feels a little bit different than programming straight notes, and depending on which character of the delay you're using, you get small flutter and wow effects, and it's just not as precise, and it adds a certain layer of a natural organic sound to it. And so when we play this together with the kick, it sounds like this.
Now the royalties is, once the advance is recouped, meaning the advance that they gave you for the production, which is a loan, which people don't understand, and that recoups and makes money back, then the royalties kick in. The royalties will come every 6 months, and you'll get a check in the mail once the artist recoups, or the song recoups, or the record recoups. And that's what we call a back end, where money will come forever as long as the record recoups. Publishing. Again, some people do admin deals, some do co-pub deals, some do publishing deals. Again, another situation, the advance. Once the advance comes back, you start making money. I suggest to the young people out there, don't do a publishing deal. No matter how big you get, never do a publishing deal. That's going to be, as Nipsey Hussle would say, rest in peace, your mailbox money, okay? And that's why it's important to do the splits and learn about the publishing, learn about the royalties. And this is the business side that people need to understand.
So first of all, we're going to look at how to record the MIDI inside Maschine. We have Pattern here. Essentially, this is the same as Clip View inside Ableton. So we can create a clip here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the length of this to 8 bars so that I already know how long the clip is going to be. At the moment, because Maschine is a VST inside Ableton, Ableton is the host, so I do have to click record in Ableton itself for the playhead to move, as the play button no longer works as Ableton is the host, but we do have to click record on the Maschine just to make sure it records the MIDI information into that pattern. So we're going to hit record. Now I can hit record inside Ableton as well.
in Ableton, Logic has a similar feature where you can basically, in Ableton, YG will show you how to do it in Logic, but if I'm sat here and I'm... Oh, latency. Yeah, if I'm sat there jamming an idea and the metronome isn't on, the project's not playing, if you, in Ableton, just go right underneath the project name, there's this little square button, and if you hit that, it will basically show sort of your jam as it was happening. And what's sick about Ableton is that it tries and captures the BPM of whatever.
A plugin that I really love, I think is super versatile and you can use on so many things, is the Gain Station 2 plugin by Mike Dean. It's really, really fun and it's crazy powerful. So I'm going to show you how it makes my 808 sound when I use it. I have this on the Easy 808 preset. I just wanted to be able to play with this with the effects here. We have like the preamp. You can bring out the bass here, the air, which obviously is affecting the EQ, the clipper, and then also the spread if you want to make it sound really wide or mono. I really like this feature, which is the routing, which really just changes the sound by the way everything is routed here. So let's see how it sounds with what I've got on it right now.
I wanted to dial in her lead a little bit more. A lot of times I don't record vocals with EQ. I put EQ on after the fact, but I used it on this one because I wanted her tone to be a little bit more just defined. So I'm going to play you her lead.
Waiting for, I didn't know what to say, but I'm sure that even though I didn't know where to go.
Now she sings with a lot of natural vibrato, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to use the Fairchild and really grab the warmth. I used the Pultec because of her tone. I wanted it really the presence there. Right now there's no reverb on her vocal because I wanted you to hear it so intimate. I would put a little bit of light reverb on her in the mix and let her lead have the bigger reverb.
So let's head over to the preference pane and set everything up. So you can see that we've got two options. We've got this MIDI control surface. So these are all supported control surfaces. My push 2 selected, and then I just need to select the input, Ableton push 2 live port, and the output. So look for your controller surface. If it's not here, don't worry. It just means that your mappings won't be instant. You'll have to map them yourself, which I'll show you in a second. If your external controller is not supported, then you just need to find it in the MIDI port section here. So this allows me to delete all of Ableton settings and use my own configuration of controls. So in order to make that work, we just need to set the in. So this is everything going to live. We set that to track. And we also want a remote control track. So I'm going to just select remote, and out, this is coming from live.